What's up, family? How y'all doing? Just out here taking my morning ride. Out here getting some of this good fresh air, this exercise, doing my thing. Look, man, I hope y'all enjoy your holiday weekend. I don't know when you might see this video or when I might actually post it, but happy 4th. Be safe out there. Enjoy your family. Get you some good barbecue. Whatever you do, man, just be safe. All that good stuff. Good morning. Like I said, I'm just out here getting me a good ride in, get some of this fresh air. Look, man, I just want to thank everybody who showed me and the missus love for our anniversary over the past few days. Love was overwhelming. We appreciate it. I just want to encourage some of y'all, man, my brothers and sisters right now, who feel a certain way about marriage. You know, I understand if you hesitant, skeptical, scared, or just totally against it. Trust me, I get it, man. When I was a kid, I got this cousin. Well, I had this cousin who used to walk the streets, and he was kind of homeless. Like, he didn't have nowhere to stay. Personally, and people said he was crazy because all he did was he kind of talked and laughed to himself and all these things. The things where we look at the person and say, he crazy. But he was a good spirited man. He was a good guy. He was a joy to be around whenever you got a chance to kick it with him. He ain't do nothing but laugh and ask a lot of questions, but he was a good guy. But I was a kid when I got the backstory on my cousin. Come to find out, this brother was had a great job in the mill, had a wife, kids, you know, the American dream, right? House, kids, cars, good job, family, you know, the picket fence around the house. Heard he had all that going for himself. Then one day, his wife moved with the kids and married his best friend off somewhere. And he ain't know where they went to, but he knew they was together. And he went crazy from there. So from that experience, that introduction to me knowing that story came along with the phrase, never trust a woman. This is just how I was raised, right? Then seeing and being with my daddy, knowing that he wasn't married to any of the women that he was with, loved my daddy to death, right? But I wasn't around no example of a healthy relationship, a marriage, and nothing like that. So it was instilled in me from the beginning, subconsciously, without me even verbally saying nothing. I ain't getting married. I don't trust no woman. These two things was instilled in me since I was a shorty. So imagine being a hip hop baby when songs like Let a Hoe Be a Hoe, a B ain't ish but hoes and tricks, it ain't no fun if the homies can't hide none. Imagine how a person like me gravitated to songs like that. Because we like what we can relate to. That's just human nature. So I was jamming those records. Those were my songs, all records like that. Because it just reaffirmed how I already felt, plus the songs was dope. But think about those messages and how destructive they are to people who don't come from a healthy situation, who don't come from a home where there's a mom and dad in the home, and you're seeing a healthy marriage on display daily. Imagine that, right? So I didn't think about marriage, man. I had a negative view on marriage, like most guys. You hear a lot of guys who say, I ain't never getting married. Or they got all these reasons why they won't get married. Some people are definite when they say they'll never get married. They can't even articulate all the reasons why. But these are the reasons, man. There are strategic systems set in place, targeted against the African American culture to keep families apart. From welfare to Section 8, all these things to where people get a guaranteed income every month. But the caseworker come by the house, and the mother has to explain to the caseworker who this young man is in her home when she has a growing boy with a shoe size maybe of 10 or 11, and the caseworker looking like, what's this? Who these belong to? Because they know if you got a man in the house, you don't need us. So we gonna cut you off. So with systems like this set in place, that's disguised as a good thing, you can see the cons in that also. Especially when a woman is getting this guaranteed set amount of money and food stamps every month. But it's so much deeper than that. But I just want to give some context on why we are where we are in America, in black culture, why there's so many negative views on marriage. And then looking at celebrity marriages, you can understand why so many people are discouraged in marriage, because those marriages, a lot of those marriages don't last no time. People spend the most amount of money on the biggest rocks for a wedding ring, but put in the littlest effort on making sure the marriage works, the marriage is successful. So this is what we're dealing with. We see dysfunctional black relationships and marriages on reality TV, in our songs today. Like, where's the hip-hop genre? I mean, we see the hip-hop genre, right? Which we can argue if that's real hip-hop or not, but where is the R&B genre? Where are the love songs? Like, I don't go out nearly as much as I used to, hardly at all, but whenever I do go to like a birthday party or something, I can't even tell you when the last time I saw anybody slow dance. Like, where is the love in society? Marriage is not encouraged, man. Marriage is not promoted. A healthy black family structure is absent on the regular. So when we do see it, we be excited and we be happy because it's just that rare, when it wasn't always like that. Great grandma, great grandpa, all of them, they was married for 30, 40, 50 years. High school sweethearts and all that. We don't seem to have that no more. And I told you guys the way I was raised and how I view women in marriage. So I can tell you straight up, I honest to God never thought about marriage until I came across a woman worth marrying. That's 100, man. That's about as real as I can be. Never crossed my mind until I came across a woman worth marrying. I didn't come from a household of it, didn't know much about it, and it wasn't even encouraged. It's like every older black man in my hood, not just in my hood, but even when I started working consistently, I won't even name the place where I was at. But when I started working consistently, and it was a few brothers in my department, and we had a black manager, older brother, cool, right? This was a popular, wealthy establishment, so it felt good to work in a department where we actually seen a brother with this much power and say so in a department. So we worked for him, and I'll never forget, we was having a meeting in his office one day about the job, and he must have got a text message. He looked at his phone, put his head down and shook his head, and he looked in our eyes. He said, man, let me tell y'all brother something. Whatever you do, if you don't listen to nothing else I say, don't get married, man. He said, do not get married. Man, he didn't really give a lot of detail, but you could see in his face that he was going through something. And during that time, we knew that he was cheating on his wife because he was doing it. He was reckless with it. It's like he didn't care who knew it. He was cheating with one of the women at the job. But he said, man, listen, if you don't listen to nothing else I say, I'm telling y'all right now, do not get married. And I'm gonna tell y'all, that was a professional black man. But these were also the words of brothers in the hood who were older than me, who told me, you know, cats wanted to be, when you hear that phrase, player for life, some people really want to be player for life. I thought I'd be one of them. But I haven't seen that brother since I've been married. So that's been over 18 years ago. And I would love to tell him now that I am married and I got a successful marriage. And one of the keys for us has always been God first. Because when you get married, regardless if you believe in the Bible or not, you believe in God or not, guess who you standing in front of? Not just the people a part of your wedding party and the people you invited to your wedding, but guess who really a part of that wedding? Because they're using the Bible. They're using the word of God. So you standing before God. So a lot of couples use God for that ceremony and they leave and try to leave them out of their marriage. I don't care what it looks like, how blessed you think you are. That's not a blessed marriage when you leave the creator of marriage out of marriage. So one of the main keys for us is keeping God first, man. And in keeping God first, my viewpoint over the years has changed drastically. Because guess what? Coming into God and making God the Lord of your life requires a new way of thinking. That's why you hear this phrase, born again. Because the world has one way of thinking and God has a complete different way of thinking. What's right is wrong here, and what's wrong here is right in the eyes of God. It's flipped around. So one of the ways my mind has changed is I no longer look at women as an object to satisfy my lustful desires, or just something I can mess with or play with or test drive from time to time. I actually look at women like he look at the woman he created. They're God's daughters, just like we are his sons. So that's one of the main things that changed about how I view people. So I want to end this video with just some encouragement. First, to my brothers. One thing I want to say is there's been a bad taste put in our mouth about marriage, and that's strategic. In retrospect, I want to tell you that's strategic. And when we look at every other culture, a lot of them get married early, straight out of high school. You know why? Because first of all, they've seen it. Most of them have seen it in their culture. They've seen it in their household. That's where they come from. And it's encouraged. And it's encouraged because that's where the blessings happen. You're more focused when you're married a lot of the times. And I'm talking about a good marriage. So keep in mind when I'm speaking right now, this is not generalizations. I'm not putting everybody in a box. I'm talking about a good, healthy marriage. And I'm talking about the majority of other cultures. They come from these things. But in a marriage, you build. You build family. You build structure. You build businesses. More entrepreneurship. You're just more focused. You're not focused when you're constantly chasing women all over the place. So I understand, again, how we were raised to view marriage. But that ain't even it, man. That ain't it. I've been much blessed since I've allowed myself to stop doing it my way and try to do it God's way. I see the blessing on this side. I'm able to accomplish more since I've been married because I've been more focused. To the ladies, I want to encourage you guys as well, man. A lot of you guys have standards and a lot of y'all lower them because you allow yourself to fall for a man who don't even try or don't want to meet your standards. But that's your fault because you fell for someone you're not equally yoked with. And I want to encourage you guys not to do that. When a guy tells you without a shadow of a doubt he never plans on getting married, he don't have no desire to, he don't see marriage at all. When he comes out like that and say that blatantly without a shadow of a doubt, he's a grown man. Don't think whatever you bring to the table is going to change that. He has to mature and evolve that way on his own. Don't think whatever you bring to the table is going to change that. Read between the lines, hear what I'm saying. I don't care how freaky you think you are, how nasty you think you can get. Don't think that that's going to change a whole man's mindset. But I do want to tell you this. If you're with a man who is not definite in that answer, he's open to the fact of marriage, but he's not ready. He didn't come from a background where he's seen it and it wasn't encouraged. You ain't got to walk away from that because I was that guy. I want to tell you this. If you're a good woman, just keep being a good woman. Just keep doing your thing. And if you got a relationship with God, take it to your Father. Keep praying on that thing. Because guess what's going to happen? No man is just going to walk away from a good woman. We know when we got a good thing. We do. But you need to stand firm on what you want out of life. How much time you think, how much time you going to invest without getting nothing in return. You need to know that ahead of time. And you need to stand on it. And continue to be a good woman. Continue to take your wants and desires to God. As long as it's not against His will, you're going to see major moves happen in your life. But just continue to be a good woman. And brothers, I want to tell you, we were set up. Marriage ain't bad. I'm not trying to tell you it's the easiest thing in the world neither. That's why, in my opinion, you need God. But it definitely ain't all bad. It takes some work. It takes some humility. So when you finally do make that step, you need to surround yourself with other couples who are married. Healthy marriages, people you can get good advice from. See, there's a difference between healthy advice and toxic advice. That's a whole nother video. But you need to surround yourself with other couples who are married. People who have been married longer than you. People who are more spiritually advanced or knowledgeable than you. You need all of these variables around so you can get past some of these challenges, because we have a real enemy in this world. If you believe in God, you got to believe in the other entity. We have a real enemy that is against family and against community. And we see that operating on all levels of this world. Again, that's a whole nother video. But I just want to thank y'all for the love that we received for our anniversary. And I just want to encourage people who are not married and maybe thinking about it or want to be married. It's not a bad thing at all. It's actually a blessing in God's eyes. And I can go so much deeper on so many other subjects, but this will be an extremely long video. And I can get into some grown folks talk on the benefits of marriage too. But that's enough for now, y'all. Getting my morning exercise in. Have a blessed holiday weekend. We'll chop it up soon. One.